We're back to discuss The Edge of 17, and if you saw our review, we all liked the movie. We all recommended it. I really found myself identifying with this character to the point where I almost wasn't watching the performance as the character. I was almost like I was that invested in what was going on. Like, yeah, I would do. Yeah, I've done these things.
That
like
happened.
all of this stuff happens. And yeah, so I really got into it from that side of things. I don't think they got cheesy or sappy about it. Like, I kept expecting it to go and have this super, super happy, over-the-top ending. I think they did a really good job with, like, she has the conversation with her brother, and her mom just sort of lets it be, which I think is really smart. I think that's a really good way of pulling it off. Like, they don't force the mom to have, like, a over-the-top cathartic ending. They just give her an acceptance point. And the thing with the guy at the end, I mean, it's pretty obvious if you've ever watched a movie before that she's going to end up with that guy.
Yeah.
But I think the way that they did it was good.
Yeah. God, where do I begin? Like, it was all so relatable, or it's happened to, like, in my life with friends and brothers and cousins, and just all of it's extremely relatable.
Yeah.
I really like that they didn't spend a whole lot of time on, like, the brother and her friends in their relationship. Like, we got it, they got together, they're hooking up, they're friends, they're in a relationship, whatever, move on.
Yeah.
I really like that they didn't, like, put so much emphasis on, oh, we're so happy, we're in love, we really like each other. That was good that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Because then I felt like it would have kind of overshadowed the point of her trying to find herself.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have made it feel like she was so isolated if if they're always focusing on those other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I really liked, just seeking out attention from other people with, of course you're going to find yourself in that one bad situation, and it's going to be what you make out of it. Like, how can you get yourself out of that situation, or how can you turn around? And I like that she was a stronger character that didn't succumb to the peer pressure, that even though she sent the message unaware, thinking that the guy is going to have the same intentions that she had, didn't happen so much. Didn't happen at all. But she was able to get herself out of that situation. So I really like that there wasn't that underlining peer pressure she felt that she had to make him happy.
Yeah, I think that scene is, and that's what I was talking about when I said it may be uncomfortable to go and see this with your parents or with your kids, just because it is like that borderline of rape, consent type of scene that can get pretty uncomfortable to watch. And I was uncomfortable watching it by myself, but, watching that with my daughter or my mom would have been extra bad. I think that you're right. It did a really good job of, what I really liked was that it started off where, he was after what his expectation was. There wasn't he was not presented in the movie as a casual date rape guy, which they could have done, and that could have been handled that way and been really a mistake. It was more of, I thought this is what she want, and she's not saying anything to stop it. Like, she's still enamored enough that she's not really aware of how far this is going. And then she stops him, and then when he won't engage with her, she leans over and starts kind of kissing on him again, and he goes back for her, and she's like, no, stop.
Yeah.
I thought that dynamic played out really well, where, like, he was never going to be what she really wanted. Like, he was never going to be the person that she built him up to be.
Correct.
But it also didn't have to be worse than it was.
Yeah.
To be effective. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't have... If she had given into peer pressure, that would have been one way of looking at it. I would have looked at it like he took advantage of her.
And that's the thing, I feel like with that part, like, he didn't have to take advantage of her, and we didn't have to feel like he took advantage of her, and she also didn't have to feel like, oh, well, I did what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is what I have to do to make this boy like me. So I really like that, it's kind of a PSA for both sides, like for both men and women, or boys and girls. Like, you have a choice, make a wise choice, don't succumb. If you don't feel comfortable, don't do it.
Right.
It's, nobody's making you do it, and if you feel like you're forced to do it, don't do it.
Yeah.
So I really, really, really like that part.
Yeah.
That's why I would say that it's definitely a good movie for teenagers to see, for those who think that that's what they have to do.
I did like that. More often than not in movies like this, when that situation arises, the guy just pushes past it to the point of being, like, incredibly rapey.
That's what I mean.
And I thought this movie handled it well. It was it was a very realistic situation.
Yeah, they didn't turn him into an evil, stereotypical date rape character.
I don't think he was.
He was just a guy, and he didn't know her, and all he knew was...
This is what she had...
She got this message that explicitly said what she wanted, and...
Yeah.
Now she's here, and we're doing that.
He's collecting, but I mean...
The only problem I had with this movie, and maybe I was just looking into a couple things that happened too much. In one scene, this girl likens her and her brother to Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito from The Twins, specifically saying, like, the short, ugly, bald guy, you remind me of him, And...
Well, it was that you and your brother are so completely opposite, I think was the point of the...
Movies with this type of storyline have this idea that the audience has to believe that this character is unattractive.
No.
In some form.
No, I don't. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I think that is a common thing that people put in movies. I don't think this movie ever outright says that she's unattractive.
Yeah, I think it's more
What
or
it
less
says
you're
is-
less popular, you don't have the charisma.
Compared to him,
in comparison.
you're unattractive. Compared to him, you are a little troll.
I guess. I just, like, when I see that, I'm like, I can't believe that she's unattractive. I mean, like, her attitude is horribly, but it is...
I don't see it as attractiveness. I think I just find it as, like, if your brother was, like, the star of the football team and you were the AV club person, you know what I mean? That's kind of how I got it as a comparison. Like, this person's more popular, has more friends, is well known, and you're just their sister, or you're just their...
Yeah. This isn't...
You're the bonus,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
This was not the Duff. This wasn't a movie that was sitting there saying that this beautiful young actress is ugly because she wears goofy coats and
She's just
glasses or
awkward.
whatever. She was just awkward, and that particular scene was just someone very drunk commenting on how, your older brother is a big linebacker looking guy and you're this goofy...
Yeah, like I said, maybe I was reading into it too much, that one line, but that's how I always feel in these movies, that they try to make this person out to... We're supposed to believe that they're unattractive, and all of a sudden they become beautiful at the end, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like she looked the same.
You're describing the plot of a different movie, because that's not what happened in this movie at all.
I don't know. I like the banter between her and her teacher. I liked that back and forth.
Woody Harrelson was amazing.
It was awesome. Like,
in this. And the psych out at the end got me. I was like, oh, really? When he was like, the movie's not about you. And I was like, oh, oh no.
that was funny. I really liked when they walked in the house and she's like, there's a baby here. And he's like, oh, baby.
Where did he come from?
One of my favorite scenes of the entire movie was actually between her and Edwin, when he leans in for the kiss and she rebuffs him, and he's like, can somebody stop the ride for the love of God?
Can someone stop the fucking Ferris wheel?
That was the best.
Yeah, it did a lot of things where it just went beyond expectations. And that scene where they walk into the house and you realize, like, Woody Harrelson's character has a baby and a woman in his life, and it's like there's and the whole like reveal of what Irwin's house is like. It's like, yeah, that feels so true to me too, where she's so wrapped up in herself that she has no idea that, like, wow, these people have full, complete lives that have nothing to do with me, that are going on that I'm not paying any attention to.
Very relatable.
Yeah.
17 is a hard age. Anything with teen is a hard age.
Yeah.
Like, just make it past high school.
33 was a hard age. I wasn't a big fan of 33, but
teens are
that's
awful.
just me.
But I mean, I really like that, like, even though her and her mom were back and forth at each other's throat, like, when she let it go, that's probably the best thing that she could have done, especially for teenagers. Like, I know that there were times when my mom was just like, you know, I really want to go at this, but I'm gonna pick and choose my battles and just...
Yeah, and I think it's important that they don't, like I said before, like, they don't solve all of her problems in a neat bow at the end of the movie. Like, they're still... And they don't even really solve the thing with the friend, like, I miss her. Like, that's as far as it goes with her friend. They don't patch her and her friend back up.
It just gives you hope.
There's just like, okay, this is turning a corner, and that's all we really need to see.
Yeah.
And it's mostly up to her. Like, she's the one that broke off that relationship, and so, yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
The scene with them as little kids in the tent. I saw my grandpa's wiener. It made me sad.
It made me sad.
2 hours into the friendship, I killed the caterpillar, and I'm like, that was totally me. I can be another mommy.
This movie was all of us.
That's the Edge of 17. If you like the way we do this, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.